In a lot of my videos, whenever I talk about a subject, I warn that this may not apply to people such as narcissists, psychopaths, or sociopaths. Yes, they are different people on another level of spectrum when it comes to healing from them. But that didn't stop you guys from asking me then how to deal with them. I'll talk about the narcissists today, how to spot them, how to deal with them, and eventually, how to heal from them. Namaste, Sacred Masters. I'm Dr. Iwas Ukehi, author of Shadow Work, Finding Your Light in Darkness, and I'm here to help you with your shadow work and manifesting questions to elevate your self-growth. So don't forget to subscribe for pick a card sessions, Scribovio numbers, and Ukehi vibrations so that you don't miss on anything that can help you realize your full potential and find your light in the darkness. Before we begin talking about narcissists, let me define them first. The term narcissists have been thrown around casually, and people who seemingly just think about themselves have been labeled as such. But we are going to be talking about the extreme level of self-involvement, the self-centered, arrogant thinking or behavior that lacks empathy and consideration for other people. That's right. When I'm talking about narcissists, I'm talking about people that cause harm to others due to their behavior and the healing process for their victims. Narcissists exist in every walk of life, and most people have come across a narcissist from their job and even in relationships. They turn people into empty shells of their former selves, feeling lost and not knowing what to do. They groom people, manipulating them into doubting their own feelings, and it is very heartbreaking to see the effects of their dark personality on their victims. And the thing is, it doesn't start out that way. Let's talk about the phases of narcissistic relationships first, and then let's look into the secrets of how they accomplish it. We have to know their patterns and become aware of it first before we can heal from it. A relationship with a narcissist comes in 4 stages: idealize, devalue, discard, and hoover. Every relationship with a narcissist begins with the idealization phase. This is a trap that they set in order to lure you in. The most common tactic they use is the love bombing, in which they bomb you with love, constant attention, gifts, texts, and phone calls. The romance feels straight out of a romance movie, where it long talks about the future and apparently the sixth sense that they know you and staring into your eyes. Look, we all want to feel special and wanted by others. We all want attention and validation. This is how the narcissist sets the first trap. They use words and affection in such a clever way that you might even think you have found the one. That is their goal. If you can get out of a narcissist's grip in this stage, you're one of the lucky ones. But the manipulation strings of a narcissist can run really deep. One of the ways you can quickly distance yourself is to hear when the words like love and forever are used. Become aware that love is not something that pops out of the blue like in the movies, but slowly cultivated over time. Narcissists need things to happen fast and immediately because they do not have the capacity to do this forever. Since it's just a trap and that's not how they truly feel, they need to move on to the second stage as quickly as possible because they have to download their dark side into someone. And if you're caught in their love bombing trap, they are ready for the next phase in the narcissist black hole, which is the devaluing stage. This is when they start to devalue things and people around you. It is subtle at first, but eventually their goal is to make you feel like you are worthless without them. They will try things such as isolating you from your family and friends. They do all this by twisting and distorting facts and eventually become verbally abusive and emotionally manipulative. They gaslight, which is the process of making someone believe what they observe is untrue. Gaslighting makes you question your perception of reality, putting on blindfolds over your eyes to how truly abusive they are. This is the stage that your authentic self is broken down into an empty, hollow shell. And trust me, this won't be a one-time situation. Not until you feel completely worthless. This could be the longest part of an abusive relationship, especially if you are a strong-willed individual. But even for those who are strong emotionally and mentally, they eventually get broken down, which allows the narcissist to move on to their third stage, the discard. By the time the narcissist is done with you, sucked you dry of everything that you are no longer their supply. It's sudden and heartbreaking, and you will feel lost, since your identity has been tied to them already. For most people, they try to heal from this breakup, hoping to move on to a better life, trying to forget this one. But this is when the narcissists are at their worst, because they don't simply just leave you. You are actually still in the cycle, because the next phase is the Hoover phase, which is to keep track of you. Since you were a good source of supply for them, they wait to see if you can heal. They wait till you heal so they can come back into your lives. The worst types of narcissists are the ones who use children to inflict more pain. Remember, they lack empathy even with children, so don't try to rationalize their behavior. Narcissists also hover around your life if they don't feel you have suffered enough, and there's still some supply to suck out of you. Remember, you're not the only one, as they keep people around them to fulfill their disturbing behavior. Some narcissists hover over you, and when it's time to get back into your life, when you heal, they may resort to subtle love bombing techniques, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. You take them back in, and then, within a short time, the devalue cycle happens again, then the discard. It's never ending. So, you ask yourself, what can I do, and how can I heal from it? Let's get into that. The most obvious answer is to leave the narcissist, whatever stage of the relationship you are in. Do not attempt to do shadow work while still in a relationship with a narcissist. Your attempts at healing from shadow work will incite the narcissist because they don't want to see their supply healing from them, and may actually make their lives worse. You have to leave them first before the shadow work begins. Start by educating yourself about narcissistic personality disorder. The more you understand, the more you realize how they work on you. Remind yourself in your journals why you're leaving. Remember that gaslighting is the narcissist's favorite weapon, so keeping things written down privately can really help you. My best advice is to seek support from your families and friends. And remember, when doing this, you will incite anger in the narcissist because they will feel like you have just discovered their secret. Help is always good. If you are physically threatened or abused, make sure you get help from the authorities. Remember, never argue with a narcissist. You will only escalate the situation, and they will do everything they can to make sure you're back on track in their cycle. This is where setting boundaries is one of the most important things you can do. Setting boundaries is a whole new topic and skill, which I will make a separate video of it in the future. But simple ways you can set boundaries is making sure that you are willing to say no to anything that takes away your rights as a human being in order to feel 1. Safe in a relationship, 2. To have your privacy, 3. To be heard and listened to, 4. To have your needs met, 5. To be treated respectfully, which means the absence of emotional, physical, and verbal abuse, 6. To respect that no means no, 7. To be appreciated and valued, and 8. To be validated. Boundaries is actually one of the ways you can begin to distance yourself from the narcissist. And this is where shadow work can help you, not during the relationship, but after it. Because that's really the most painful part, isn't it? The feeling that you're nothing, worthless. Your first stage to healing with shadow work is to rediscover the authentic you. You can see my video on being authentic by watching it on the link above or description box below. But reclaiming back your former self is the most important thing now. You don't want to fill that feeling of emptiness within with distractions. Begin to work on yourself. One of the ways you can do that is with my free 7-day course that you can see in the link above or description box below, where you can start to heal and discover your shadow child again. As you begin to do this, you will notice that the narcissist may attempt to hover over you. Remember, in your healing process, you must cut off the narcissist. Take them out from all your contacts. They will be resourceful and attempt to contact you again through other means. The way to deal with them when they suddenly appear and try to communicate is a process called stonewalling. This is where you act like a stone. You do not react or answer or argue with them. Stonewalling also cuts off the narcissist's supply of you. They don't get to feed off your suffering, and that frustrates them to the point that they will seek their supply somewhere else. Now, I know a lot of you may hate the idea, especially if a narcissist is an ex-lover, to see them with another person. But always remember, the other person is merely a supply. And if you feel that way about a narcissist, remember that it's still a trigger that you have some effects from love bombing within you. The way to heal from that through shadow work is begin learning how to do more self-love and less love coming from others. Coming out of a narcissist relationship is tough. Believe me, my path to shadow work started when I left the narcissist relationship too. I know what it feels like, and it's a terrible feeling. It takes years to fully heal from it, but it is possible. This is only a summary, but there are endless of resources available on how to heal from it. I'm just covering using shadow work to do it as just one technique. Use other techniques too. And remember, find support from those you trust, and they encourage you to be the real you. Remember, dealing with toxic people is not an easy journey, but when you come out of it, you will not only be a better, but more authentic version of you when you truly heal. If you want to find out more ways in dealing with toxic people, you can watch my video on it and how to reclaim back your power. I'll see you in that video. Namaste.